Tom Reed with Athletic. Please go ahead.
John, Seth Jones was saying yesterday that probably sometime after the All-Star break, he thought his game, he struggled a little bit. He thought he was trying to do too much at times. And I'm wondering if what you saw then and compare that to what you saw down the stretch and his performance in the first round of the playoffs.
I can't remember back to the All-Star game. Jonesy has just continues to get better. We've talked a lot about him as far as his off-ice leadership and growing into that role. So he's a big piece of the puzzle as far as our tempo of the game, and also is one of our best defenders.
And what did you think of his play with Z in the series against Tampa?
They were really good.
And we'll go to Michael Trakos with Post Media News. Please go ahead.
Hi, John. Now that you know the opponent's going to be Boston and not Toronto, what are the comparisons, maybe even the differences between the Bruins and what you face with the Lightning, and how's that going to change how you guys attack the second round?
Yeah, guys, I'm not going to spend much time talking about the Bruins and all that stuff there. We have a tremendous amount of respect for them, I will tell you that. But we're just going to concentrate on our team and try to play the best way and prepare the best way we can.
And we'll go to Bruno Montpetit with RDS Montreal. Please go ahead.
John Tortorella, can you tell us a bit about David Savard? Do you think he's playing maybe his best hockey, anyway, or some pretty good hockey in the first series against Tampa?
Well, I think his game has, the past 3 months or so, I thought there were some struggles in his game early in the season. As the season went on, he has really found his game. And I think the way, as comfortable as he feels as far as defending, he's one of our better defenders underneath the hash mark. I think it's allowed himself to get more involved in the offense now. I just feel like he's playing, no matter what we think about his game, I think he thinks he's playing well. That's the most important thing, how the player feels. And I think it's allowed him to really get going offensively also.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
We'll go to Aaron Fortsley with The Athletic. Please go ahead.
Hey, John, your power play is something we've talked about for 2 years here as a struggle. You had a couple of switches, I think, late in the season and in the postseason with Werenski now in the top unit, with Texier coming in on the second unit. But that second unit has scored maybe as big a goals as the first unit so far in these playoffs. Can you just talk about what's allowed you to find two units that have clicked and why it's working now versus why maybe it didn't work earlier?
Yeah, well, I think with the power play and penalty killing, it gets streaky. Sometimes the puck just doesn't find the net. I think one of our biggest differences in our power play right now in our first round was we got shots to the net. We got them through, and we've had some people there. I think Z has gone through a little bit of transition in his game. We've asked him to spend more 5-on-5, be more competitive 5-on-5, along with bringing the offense. I think it's very similar to Savvy. I think he feels really comfortable with his game, and that's when we switched him back to basically, I'm not sure if you can call it our top unit, but it's where most of our, I guess, the name guys are at. So we put him back there, and he was there for quite a while the past couple of years too, and has done some good things. I just think he's just playing with confidence, and he's finding ways to get shots too also.
John, can I ask you too, I'm guessing you're curious to see what the first period looks like for you guys with this layoff you've had, and I know you've tried to do the best you can to keep them sharp and not get them tired, but just a sense of curiosity from you as to how sharp your team is going to be, the feel of the game when this series starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a question I'm sure it's going to be asked because there's just so many days off. We've tried to do it the right way. I think that each practice has gone on. Yesterday was probably our best practice. I think once they know it's the team and there's a date, I think that helps the players. And now they know it. But I don't know what to expect. I think we're prepared. We better be prepared to play a better first period in this series than we played our first period against Tampa, because we did not compete or any type of competitive standard in that first period. We just looked a little nervous there, so that can't happen this first period.
Thank you.
You bet.
We'll go to Ken Campbell with the Hockey News. Please go ahead.
Hi, John. I know it's only been one series, but back in 2012, the Los Angeles Kings, squeaked into that 8th spot and then dominated and ran the table. And I'm wondering if you see any, similarities with your team and what that team was able to accomplish.
No, Kenny, I haven't even thought about it. I haven't looked back at all. I think the most important thing with our team is that we keep looking forward and be prepared to have to be playing the second round is going to be a tougher round. The second round is going to have more surges in it and momentum swings. The second round is the second round. Our first round is done. I think our players feel really good about themselves and how they played. But it is a case of satisfaction. Are we satisfied with that in a team that has not won a round in playoffs? Now we have. We've crossed that bridge. Now, what's our mindset? And that's something we've worked on here right on through the break as a time off, is just our mental mindset of being ready to play our next series. Don't worry about what happened, good or bad. No comparisons to other teams. I think a lot of people have done that. We're just going to go about our business and look forward.
Thanks, John.
You bet.
We'll go to Ed Willis with the Vancouver Sun. Please go ahead.
Hey, Tori. So it's kind of a similar question, but it's been a while since 2004 for you, and the Stanley Cup field looks to be wide open. Do you impress on your guys the opportunity that's before them, or do you need to?
Regarding the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, just the opportunity to do something really special here.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the Stanley Cup. We're talking about each day. I know it's hockey talk or coaches speak, but that's the way we have to go about our business. We're not looking at the end. We're looking at the road here. It's one of the most enjoyable things you can be involved in, is taking each day at a time as you go on the road in the Stanley Cup playoff. So we can't handle anything else. We have to take each day, and when the time comes, if we keep on playing at that certain time, if it's the Stanley Cup Finals, then I think you start talking about it. But right now, we've got to be through patting ourselves in the back as far as winning a round and get ready to play the second round.
Cheers, thanks.
You bet.
We'll go to Igor Rabinar with NHL.com. Please go ahead.
Hi, John. What are your first impressions of the new Russian defenseman Gabrikov as a player and personality? How do you regard him, his chances to play for the Blue Jackets in this series and playoffs in general?
Yeah, I have no idea where when he comes in and plays, if he does. He's only been on the ice twice with us. He is in the process of immigration right now. Missed yesterday's practice because of that. We had a scrimmage game. You certainly can see he has a really nice awareness as a defenseman in our scrimmage games. I've relied on Yarmo and on these players that are in our system. I trust Yarmo as far as the information that he gives me on the players. This guy can play. We know he can play. I think he has some bite to him that he couldn't show in a scrimmage game playing against his teammates. You can't show that. So we'll see where it goes. The sixth defenseman that played in the series against Tampa, I like what went on there. We're gonna just go one day at a time. See where we go with our back end and our forwards.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
We'll go to Dan Rosen with NHL.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, John. You've played Boston 3 times in the last month of the regular season, and I know it's the regular season and it doesn't compare.
But how, if at all, has that helped you in your preparation in the last week or so as you've been preparing for both teams, but now obviously narrowing it down to the one?
You know what, Danny? I mean, every team, every coach, every staff understands the teams they play during the regular season. Certainly, the games lately here, we have a really good understanding of Boston. But I stress to you, we're going to play our game. You certainly look at tendencies in a 7-game series more than you do in the regular season. We do very little work as far as the other team during the regular season. We're just worried about our execution. Playoffs, there are certain tendencies you look at, sure, but we don't stray too far about how we're going to play. So I'll put it to you this way: I think the coaches have a lot of information about both teams going into the series. Not very much is going to get to our players.
Thanks, John.
You bet.
We'll go to Stephen Wino with Associated Press. Please go ahead.
Hey, John. You added Alexander Texier to your lineup late in the season and put him in after not playing in North America for most of the year, and you might have this challenge with Gavrikov. What's the challenge of that as a coach when you have a guy who hasn't even been in your organization in North America all year, and all of a sudden you need him in a big role that you have with Texier?
Yeah, I don't think it's a big challenge. I think we kind of overthink having them understand the systems and this, that, the other thing. If the guy can play, and this Texier can play, he ripped it up in the minors, just spending a few weeks down there, coming to North America with our Cleveland team. We kept a close eye on him. Yarmo has been talking about him for quite a while during the season, about the year that he's had before coming over here. So yeah, we sat down one day and you know, I just felt there were some deficiencies in our lineup with some guys that we've been playing most of the year with. And the decisions we make are, is this going to be our best lineup when we enter a series? And when we put Tex in, we felt it was the best lineup, and it knocked the guy out. And with the defense in Gavrikov, I'm not sure what happens there either. We're going to have to make decisions what we think our best lineup is. So that's the criteria. If we feel he can help us and is one of those 20, we're going to put him in.
Thank you.
And once again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1. And we'll go to Aaron Portsley with The Athletic. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, they've got the Bruins, that is, they have guys with 100 career playoff games, 90 career playoff games. Some of those guys have won cups. Many others have been to the finals. What's your experience tell you about how important experience is in these playoffs? Is that overrated for as much as people?
Yeah, I think it's overrated, and I'm not saying that because I have an inexperienced team. I wonder, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I wonder versus innocence versus experience. What is the pressure? How do people handle the pressure? Some of the things that go on with young kids, and I'm watching it with a couple of guys in our team. They're just playing. They're not worried about anything as far as pressure or the bright lights of media or surges in the game. They're just playing the best way they can. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you go with that, and I've always felt that way. So yeah, listen. As I said, I'm not speaking on Boston much, but it's a great organization. We have a tremendous amount of respect for them. We're going to prepare the best way the Columbus Blue Jackets can prepare, and we're going to be ourselves and play this series.
I wanted to ask you quickly on Gavrikov too. Will him playing in Game 1, is that purely just based upon a lineup decision, or is his immigration issues settled that he can play?
No. If he's not playing, that's just the lineup. That's a decision. That's your coaching staff decision of what their 60 is going to be. His immigration should be settled.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And once again, if you have a question, please press star, then 1. And we'll go to Kevin DePoint with Boston Globe. Please go ahead.
Hi, John. Thanks for doing this. You would have been a young kid here when the whole Orr phenomenon started in Boston. Just curious, how much did you get caught up in that sort of era? Did it have an impact on you as a player, coach, all of it?
Well, I mean, when I grew up in Boston, I'm a Boston kid. I mean, I certainly followed the team. How much of an impact? I mean, I think that goal had an impact on everybody in hockey. That goal and just the way the game was played back then. That's when hockey. That's when the game was played. And has it had an influence on me? I don't know, Kevin. I'm just very fortunate to get an opportunity to be in this league. I've been given a number of opportunities to coach in this league, and I'm grateful for that. And I have just kind of developed my philosophy along the way with some coaches I've been dealt with that gave me opportunities to be assistants with, and just tried to go about my business that way.
So when you were the kid playing street hockey in Concord, were you in the 4 sweater or 7 sweater? Or?
No, I was in no sweater. I was just playing. Yeah. I appreciate me being from the area, but I'm staying away from that stuff, Kevin. I'm bringing the Columbus Blue Jackets team in there. I'm fortunate enough to coach them. I really like our team, and we're going to go in there and compete.
Okay, thanks, John.
You bet.
We'll go to Tom Reed with The Athletic. Please go ahead.
John, you've obviously been a really good road team all season. You've won like 4 of your last 5 on the road in the playoffs. Why do you guys think that you have been so good over the last year and even going back to last year's playoffs on the road, where a lot of teams often struggle?
I don't know. I wish I had the answer for our home struggles. I do think, at least in my mind, and I can't speak for our players, I think it automatically, when you're on the road, it automatically, I think, changes your mindset a little bit about just playing a simpler brand of hockey, playing more north-south. The players are entertainers. They want to entertain people, and I think when you get home, I don't buy into the distractions of family and stuff like that. I just think you think it might be a game where you have the advantage before the puck's even dropped because you're playing in front of your home crowd. I think a little bit of sloppiness comes into play mentally that way, and you're just not totally locked in. On the road, you're with your teammates. It's a regimen as far as your lunch together, your meetings together, and I just think that brings you into a little bit more of a focus. I guess that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know if I have the right answer or the wrong answer. I'd like to try to find the answer on how to play better at home, because that's a struggle that we've had.
Yeah. Thanks.
You got it.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of you in Boston tomorrow.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That does conclude your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using AT&T Executive Teleconference. You may now disconnect.